Everybody's still sleeping.
Hello, I know it's dark. I do this every week usually for California. You got to remember when I started this, I was on the East Coast and I thought, oh, 9 a.m. I can do that.
Look what you did. Look what you've
Yeah.
done to yourself.
Look what I've done. Look what we've created, the community,
Yeah, amazing.
because you are a part of this. And I can't tell you how excited everyone is to have you come back.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be great. I got some really cool things that we're gonna work on over there. So
Okay. And yeah, when more people come on, I want to talk about it because we have a few openings now. So
nice.
it's called good morning, Ash. She's not even. Ashley,
Good morning. I'm here.
you are. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey,
So
hey.
who else is coming on camera this morning?
I will in a few minutes. I'm dealing with dogs for a minute.
You can deal with dogs. Eric's got a sleeping baby. Look at Sarah. She's all dressed up in her office.
I know. What a pro.
Isn't she unbelievable?
Wow, you know what? That's my affirmation for today. I am unbelievable.
I like that.
Unbelievable. We don't know what to believe about me, but it's unbelievable.
That's what I say. That is absolutely what I say sometimes. It is. Oh, that is just fascinating. When I don't know what else to say to somebody and my mouth is going to drop on the floor and I think they're absolutely crazy, I look at them and go, fascinating. I don't know what
the South would say. Bless your heart.
Well, because you're Southern and you get to say that, bless your heart. But when I lived in Atlanta, I figured out what that bless your heart meant.
I mean, a lot of things.
Kind.
It can be sincere or it can be like you stupid person.
Exactly. Okay, let's see. Everybody's waking up. So what's going on? Tell us something that's good. Evelyn, since you are our mortgage person.
Yes.
Yes, you're not even awake. And I love that my California peeps are on, and Evelyn has been on for almost 2 years with this. What is going on in terms of, are you seeing changes with some of the FHA things, how we're going to get paid?
No, they're not gonna. No.
Okay, we might as well go out. So we gotta go.
Yeah, no, I don't see any changes on you getting paid. And I know FHA's saying the fact that if the seller is paying the buyer's agent commission, it's okay. It's not considered a sales concession at all. So I think it's all gonna work itself out. And
it is, because everybody
we plug the fact that buyers need agents to represent themselves all the time. So no, I think it's going to work itself out okay.
It's a big to do about almost nothing. And if agents will just do what they need to do and not focus on, oh my God, the sky's falling, we're never going to get paid. That is so not true. And any seller that doesn't want to pay an agent, I don't think I want to represent them.
Yeah.
You know, that is just life. Okay, Dee Dee. Hi, beautiful. How's New York?
Good morning. Good morning. It's very rainy out here. I'm in Jersey, but I can see the skyline and it's very rainy, and I feel bad for those who are going through tornadoes and all that stuff. I keep them in my prayers. I hope you guys are doing well, but I'm keeping cozy and warm today.
I'm on the same coast as you, so I'm getting the rain as well.
Stay safe and warm.
I will. Thank you.
Nice to be here. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Okay, so I posted this everywhere, and we hopefully are going to get people, because otherwise Eric's going to say, what on earth did I get up for?
No, it's just nice being with you guys.
You know, we have had some of the best calls with a small group. We really have had amazing calls. So let's see, who else is here? Bennett. Is he on, or is he just, guys, he's.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yeah. I'm awesome.
I love it.
It's a beautiful sunny day here in Dallas, and it's turkey season, so I get to go out down south on Friday and take a look at a ranch that we're trying to sell and see if I can find some little birds out there in the woods.
So you going hunting? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I've never heard about you guys going hunting for turkey.
We're not big
Yeah.
turkey hunters. I mean, we will. It just isn't, a huge thing.
It
Who
is when you call them in and come strutting in and make
Yeah,
themselves, it's just so pretty.
they are
Doesn't matter
beautiful.
what
Oh
you
yeah, they're
shoot.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. And who else is there?
What makes it, I'm sorry, Peggy, what makes it turkey season? Because I always thought that was Thanksgiving.
Well,
Texas Parks and Wildlife.
state parks and wildlife, right? Regulate the seasons for deer, turkey, whatever, dove.
Yep.
In other words, it's hunting season.
Correct.
That's what a true New Yorker girl from New Jersey girl sitting there. What's turkey?
Thank you, guys.
That's what I love
Always
about
learning, always learning.
always learn. Okay,
Yeah, that's
well,
awesome.
who's ever here is here. And Eric, there's a couple of people who don't know who you are, but also something big has changed since you were coaching us at our retreat in August.
Yeah, a lot. Um, Hi everybody. Yeah, my name's Eric Mussman. Let's see, where do I begin? So, went to college when I was 17, born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. Definitely know when all the different hunting seasons are out there. Went to college when I was 17, graduated with 2 degrees, and realized I hated what I went to school for. Did an internship and right away was like, I will never do this ever. So there I was with a bunch of student loans, and I was bartending and working in restaurants because that's what I did my whole way through college. And I just kind of was stuck and figuring out, I need to do something. So got into real estate a little bit. My grandma had her broker's license since I was a little kid. My mom has her broker's license. They always did real estate. My grandma was one of the kind of people that had an old truck with a metal sign on the side that said like, call me, ask me about house, one of those kinds of people. And I remember being a little kid, we'd send out mailers. So she'd pay me like 2 cents for every envelope I did or something like that. Those were some of my first jobs. So I know this world pretty well. Did a little bit of real estate stuff and ultimately ended up starting my first restaurant when I was 25. Did that, took off, did really well, did another one. Next thing you know, I was a millionaire by the age of 26. I was totally unhappy though. I was not happy with what I was doing and kind of got down the path of personal growth and development. So I went out to Peru. I went out to do plant medicine in the jungle, in the Amazon jungle. I went to India and did meditation stuff there. I went all over the world doing all this different stuff, just really looking for happiness and what was next. I'd set these goals for myself and I would hit them, and they weren't really making me any happier, and it's really tough because a lot of people, I think, they can blame their unhappiness on not hitting goals. So it's really difficult when you actually hit your goal and you're still unhappy. It's like, well, now what? I don't know. I really don't know what to do now. And I want to talk about goals in a little bit too. But back to the story. So I basically would do one thing after another, figuring things out, and ended up becoming a coach and a trainer actually for neurolinguistic programming. I know NLP is pretty big in the real estate world, so I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. It's pretty much the foundation for Gary Keller was huge. It's huge into it. Keller Williams, their MAPS program is completely based off of NLP, and they send a lot of people out there. EXP is starting to send a good amount of people out to learn NLP also, because it's basically how the mind works. So became a coach in that, became a trainer, ended up traveling all over the country, teaching groups, talking to people, and ended up coaching. It was crazy. I started just coaching random, anybody who needed help, and ended up, I coached a pitcher in the last Olympics in Japan. I've coached Grammy Award winning musicians. I've coached A-list actors, and I've just kind of fallen into this world of people that are kind of at the top of their game. I've coached some really big time CEOs making lots of money. And then I've coached a 10-year-old kid who just didn't feel like he was doing well in school and unhappy. I mean, I've coached everybody. So that's kind of what led us all here. And I also own my passion is really passive income. I try to figure out programs and systems for things and figure out how to make more money while I sleep than I do when I'm awake. That's my ultimate goal. And that's what I do
Yep.
a lot of the time. And what Peggy was referring to is I had my first child. I have a daughter named Nicole who's sleeping next in the room next here. Had her, geez,
Yeah.
some of you who were there, like Kevin, I think was there, right?
Who was there? Sarah, Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley, of course. We were the last time we were in Texas teaching a retreat out there. Steph was very pregnant,
She was.
and now we have a beautiful, healthy 6-month-old baby. So it's been
Who's
great.
going to be at the retreat with us?
Will be, yes,
Yes.
yeah. So
Pretty crazy. Which is pretty
yeah,
crazy, because then we have Nicole, Jean and Susan's daughter, who also had a baby. You guys were all pregnant at the same time.
that's right.
And her son, who is Nick, I think they call him Nick. Is that right, Ash? Nixon.
Nix, they call him Nix.
They call him Nick. So we're going to have two babies there, Nix and Nicole, which is pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
So one of the things that I just want to touch on, and I'm totally transparent about this, is beside coaching, Eric has really taught me about what he's saying about making income while you're sleeping. That is the best way in the world to make income, and he's helping me do that right now. And Eric is into trading, and he entered a contest. Just talk a little bit about that, because that's also mindset, how you won this with your algorithms. And I don't care. I mean, he's doubled my money, literally, guys, in 2 years, in less than 2 years, on some of my investments. 100% doubled my money.
With money, I kind of got into the mindset, honestly. So we have restaurants all over, and one of them is in a very, very wealthy area in Tucson, right next to some of the top golf courses out there. I've had a bunch of professional golfers in my restaurant, and I would just kind of drive around and see some of these guys. There's a guy I'll always remember, this guy named Charlie and his wife Patty, and they were building this house, this like $40 million house out there, and every little intricate detail, they wanted it. They love Italy, and they wanted it to be like an Italian thing. So they would literally fly to Venice to get this man whose family has been making patio drains and things for, generations. So they would fly there just for little things like that, or they'd bring a fireplace from Rome from this. So they're building this crazy place and driving around. And I remember looking at these people living in these very wealthy houses and watching a lot of them come in on weekdays and golfing and not really working at all. And meanwhile, there I am busting my butt, working 14-hour days, sometimes 12-hour days in this restaurant to make a fraction of what, trying to make in a year what they make in a day a lot of times and things like that. And I really, it just kind of all came to me like, these people aren't any different than I am. Like, why what are these people doing? They're not better looking than me. They're not smarter than me. Like, why? They have these amazing lives though. And really, it just comes down to mindset. And I really kind of looked at it and said, if they can do it, I can do it. Why, it's classic NLP stuff. Like if somebody else can do it, then you can do it.
Mhm.
So I really got kind of followed this road of realizing that a lot of the things that I believed about money, a lot of the mindset I had wasn't really serving me. And it's
Mhm.
interesting because if you think about it, whatever beliefs you have about money didn't come from you. You're not born with money beliefs. It all comes from other people. And I grew up very poor. I mean, there were times we were on food stamps, and I was always taught things like money doesn't grow on trees and you got to work hard to make money and all these things that are ultimately complete lies. Because
Mhm.
if hard work equaled money, then my maid would be making a lot more money. I mean, our maid comes in here and works so hard for $200, and I'm sitting on the beach in Hawaii making more than she makes in a year. So I mean, it's just not accurate. It's good to kind of look at our programming and look at things. So I kind of understood that, and I realized that there's three main ways that people become wealthy in our world. The top three ways. One is small business, and I had the restaurants. I still have restaurants. I have over 150 employees with the restaurants. I have 6 restaurants in Tucson, Arizona. We had more. So I had the small business part covered. The other was real estate. I always had real estate. My first house I bought when I was 20 with a kiddie condo loan that my mom helped me get, and we bought more houses from there. I mean, I've always owned property. I just bought another condo in Mexico on the beach that we use as Airbnb and make really good income off of. So I had the real estate part down. The third way that people become wealthy is investing. And that was the one that always got me. That was always the tricky one because I don't know, I was never good at it. So it became like this like challenge that I'm going to figure this out. So I took a course in options trading and I did good for a little bit. And then I lost $250,000 in options. And then I did another course and, was kind of doing all this stuff. I talked to a financial advisor, and it's funny because my uncle is a financial advisor. And I was like, okay, financial advisors really know their stuff and all that. Ended up not making money and found out that most people don't make money with financial advisors, which makes sense
Exactly.
because if financial advisors were so good at making money, why would they want to work in a cubicle wearing, in a 9 to 5 job,
Exactly.
helping other people? Like you wouldn't do that. If you know how to make money, you're not going to work for somebody else. You're
Right.
gonna work for yourself. So I had some friends that would do trading, and I kind of said, hey, mentor me, teach me everything that you guys know. Like I'll fly wherever you are. I'll stay with you. I'll whatever. I'll pay for all your meals. Like, let me just sleep on your couch. Even I just want to learn what you guys are doing because they were making lots and lots of money. And as they were teaching me, my mind goes into passive, like how can we get passive income out of this? So I was looking at things that they were doing, charts, and they're looking at charts and watching CNBC 24 hours a day and looking at every little thing and knowing when the next non-farm payroll report's going to come out and what, if Biden's going to make a speech, or back then, if Trump or, is going to make a speech on jobs and how it's going to affect this and all these little things. And I was like, I don't want to do this at all. This doesn't look fun.
No.
And I started automating what they were doing. I said, if you guys can do it like this, I can create a computer program that can do these things. So one thing led to another, and then as AI has continued to grow, we basically developed a software that trades using artificial intelligence
Mhm.
and is looking at the charts 24 hours a day. And when everything lines up, it puts in a trade. It handles the trade. It does the take profit. It does everything as far as trades go. And what Peggy's talking about is there's these, they're called prop funds. And what they do, if you're a really, really good trader, they will fund your account. So for instance, if you can prove to them that you're like one of the top traders, they will give you an account with $100,000 in it, have you trade it, and you get to keep half the profits.
Mhm.
So it's a way for them to make money off really good traders, kind of. And if you ever get into a certain amount of loss, they pull it. If you don't make a certain amount of money, they pull it. Like very, very strict regulations that most people just can't do. We've created a program, and no one ever did before, but we passed their challenge to get in 13 times in a row. And eventually
Unbelievable.
they ended up saying no more computers because of us. So we changed the system. But you know, it's just kind of the mindset of thinking outside the box, looking at things. I mean, even with the real estate stuff that's going on right now, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, how could you get creative? What can you do here? That it's such a good time because there's so many real estate agents freaking out, which is ideal. That's great. Hey, only the strong survive, right? It's like
Mhm.
let them quit. That's more for you. If half, you know, I saw a report. Yeah, I saw a report that they're going to lose whatever. 420,000 real estate agents are going to leave. Like, man, what a good time to be in real estate. That is
I
awesome.
agree.
It's such a gift. Or when anytime things are like that. So it's just really, I think, about mindset all around, one way or another, and looking at things. I can reframe any situation. You can tell me any problem in the world, and I can reframe it into something positive.
Mhm.
If you have that mindset, you're unstoppable.
So mindset,
Mhm.
so important. And the relationship with money is, I know that we did, I think it was last year, I did a whole thing around what's your relationship with money.
Mhm.
And that was probably one of the most powerful Zooms that we did. People got real. I mean, there were grown men sobbing on this call. And that's not, I don't like saying I make people cry. They were, I do, um, but they were looking at things because of the mindset that people have been told and taught, and all those things about money doesn't grow on trees. And guys, you can manifest and have anything you want. And it is not a dirty word. Profit is not a dirty word. Having a bank book filled and overflowing with money is not a dirty word. And, when you keep just believing in yourself, and I'm sure, Eric, I'm sure people were saying to you, what do you mean you're not doing this? You went to college, you did this, you have loans, you have all this. You were like, I'm not happy. I have all this, but I'm not happy.
Mhm.
That's not what we're about here. So finding joy, finding happiness, and making money while you're sleeping, but also living the life you want to. So Eric, that's really what you've done. You and Stephanie, and now that he's with Stephanie, I mean, it's amazing what the two of you have created together. And you came together quite by chance because she went and took a class that I had just taken. And so you never know what's going to happen. But Eric, talk more about mindset and, what you want us to take away from this today.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true what you say, and mindset is, people talk about a lot about abundance and manifestation and all these things, but let's just get simple about it. I mean, all of our beliefs literally came from somewhere else. Everything you believe, everything that's ingrained in you, you weren't born with. Right? So it had to come from society, came from external things, came from the church you go to, or your parents, or your uncle, or your neighbor, your friends, or whatever. And a lot of those mindsets and a lot of those beliefs are probably good and are probably serving you. I personally can tell you I had a lot that weren't. And I will still sit there, and when that voice in my head says something, it's like, well, where did that come from? That's interesting. It's you don't look good today. And it's like, whoa, who said that? Or whatever. We all have these voices that say these little things. And the takeaway is that you can change it. I mean, you really can change it. And bringing awareness to it is the first step, though. You have to know that you have those thoughts. Look at what you believe about money. Look at whatever it is, you know, that people say money is the root of all evil. That, you know, and that's not even the quote out of the Bible. What the Bible actually says is the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of it. You shouldn't love money. You should love people.
Mhm.
Money is just energy. Money, it's just a thing. It doesn't even mean anything. At this point, it's completely pointless. At some time it actually represented a certain amount of gold in the treasury and things like that. Now it doesn't represent anything. And with crypto and things like that, it's even more. You know, what is Bitcoin? It's just thin air, you know, like we're literally creating currencies daily. And if you understand this stuff, if you kind of look at it, so what I encourage people to do is just kind of look at your beliefs, look at things you believe. You can start with money, you can look at relationships, you can look at all the different areas of life. Your fitness, what do you believe about fitness? What do you believe about, you know, and look where you're getting your information from, because a lot of the time people get it from the media. And I promise you, 24-hour news channels are not telling you things that are going to help you. They're telling you things to put you in a fear mentality because that gets them ratings. And I don't care which channel it is, all of them just want ratings. It's a TV show. Yet people take things that they watch on TV, people take things that are, you know, from wherever else, and they adopt those as their beliefs. It's very easy to convince people of all kinds of things. All you need to do is go on Facebook and you will see people saying the most ridiculous stuff you've ever seen in your life. And they didn't come up with it. They just saw it, that somebody else said it, and they're like, oh, well, this is true. This is a fact. If you take that and kind of go broader with it, that's a lot of people all the time. So whether it's real estate, whether it's, you know, real estate, it's really easy to do. You go on there and you see people talk about real estate. Wow, that'll every time this market's the worst it's ever been in 30 years, or this and that. And it's like, you look at people that are successful and they don't believe that. I was talking to Gene the last time we were at his house, and it's like, do you think, you know, when somebody goes to Gene and says like, oh, I'm really concerned about the real estate market, he's like, okay. Yeah.
He's
Aren't
like,
you
bye-bye.
worried?
He walks away.
He walks away.
He walks away. When I was just in Cabo, I've been to Hawaii and Cabo with him at mastermind events. And these agents, 99% of them are talking about how this is one of the best markets that have ever been out there. And a couple of people walked up to Gene with some negative stuff, and he's like, oops, gotta go, I got a meeting. He will not even entertain it. And I'm glad you brought that up, because if we go into that negative space and we start entertaining it and we start buying into it, well, hell yeah, it's going to be negative because you're attracting it. That's what you put out there. You're talking about it. You need to tell your buyers and sellers when they bring up the NER lawsuit, it's like, this is fabulous. It's going to weed out people who don't belong here. I'm a professional. I'm in. And how can I represent you? Do you want to buy or sell a house? Just ask them that. Change it. Change the dialogue immediately.
Yep. Yeah. Change the dialogue, surround yourself, and lead them, because that's your job as an agent. They shouldn't be telling you things about real estate. You should be telling them things about real estate, right? Like why you don't go to your doctor and start telling him on how to diagnose you. He's the pro. You go to your doctor and you trust his guidance. Real estate agents need to step into that role and go, look, I know what's going on. I can help you. That's why you're paying me. If you
Right.
think you know how to do this, if you think you know this market better than me, why am I here?
Right. And if they don't want to pay you, you're not working for them. Right,
No.
Evelyn? And we're all going to get paid. Evelyn said in the beginning of the call, we are all getting paid, guys.
We are.
What did you say that the FHA and everybody, they're saying it? Just repeat it, because there were a couple of people that weren't on the call.
They're saying FHA's made the ruling that if the seller is going to pay the buyer's agent's commission, it is not considered part of the maximum sales concession that a seller can pay 6% towards a buyer's closing costs, and they're not going to consider the buyer's agent's commission part of that. So everyone's covered.
Everyone,
I'm sure conventional will come up with the same guideline.
perfect. So, Eric, when you step into this morning, I know, we talked about this yesterday. Well, I got Stephanie to say I'm waking him up. What was your intention for today coming on this? Because we post this and I get more views on the repeat than sometimes the people that are on the call. So what was your intention for today? What do you want people to walk away with?
Well, I was thinking about, we're kind of still at the beginning of the year, but we're kind of at the point where people have, people get so excited in December and like, yeah, 2024 is going to be a new year. I'm going to lose 30 pounds and I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and I'm going to read a book a day and I'm going to, whatever. And now we're kind of at the point where people are saying, man, I haven't done those things. I did it for a few weeks and then I fell off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very interesting time as far as that goes. And I was thinking, what are important things to know to kind of get back on track? What are good things to kind of keep in mind? Why does that happen even? All these things. And one thing that I want to talk about and cover, and I can cover it quick, is just goals and SMART goals. Because I promised at the last seminar I would come on here and talk about goals and the importance of them. So real quick, I'm going to go through SMART goals, and then I want to talk about, or actually maybe even first, I'll talk about meditation, because meditation is talked about so much. It's such a thing that people think, and there's so many people that think they can't meditate. It used to be kind of like meditation was thought as woo-woo and for hippies and for monks and like, I don't meditate. Now it is a sound science. I mean, Harvard doctors will tell you, professors will talk about it. It's studied what it does for the mind. The importance of meditation cannot be overstated. I mean, meditation is key. And I want to kind of talk about that a little bit because that alone will change your life. That will change your day. That will change your mindset. It will change a lot of things. And it doesn't have to be that complicated. So many people think that they can't meditate. So many people don't want to meditate, whatever, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. You can give yourself 5 minutes a day and it will change your life, because what does meditation do? Well, for one, it syncs everything together, right? We live in a world where a lot of the times our body is doing one thing and our brain is doing something else, right? I'm thinking about a conversation that I had or reliving some argument that I had in 5th grade with a friend or whatever while I'm driving and walking and doing all these other things. And my body's doing one thing, my brain's doing something else. Meditation kind of syncs them together, right? If you're focused on your breath and not thinking about other things, then that's what's going on, right? Like you're everything is combined together. And I won't go into it too much because there's tons out there about meditation and the benefits of it. But this came to me yesterday to make it very, very simple. If you just think about, if you just close your eyes for even a second and think about where your awareness is, where you're hearing this, where your thoughts are, everything like that. It's up in our heads. A lot of times we have this going on in our heads, right? And if you just take that awareness, and you can even do it right now, and just take that awareness that's in your head and physically push it down and move it down into your chest. So now that awareness that was in your head, where you're living from, is in your chest. And if you push it down a little bit more, it goes into your stomach. So bring your awareness down into your stomach. And the first thing that I notice when it's down there are things that are kind of a lot quieter. Things are a lot more mellow. It's more peaceful. Even my voice has changed. I can tell just from having my awareness down inside my stomach. This is all meditation is. If you can bring it down there and just sit like this in silence or listening to music or even at a red light while you're waiting for it to change with your eyes open, preferably, down into that awareness, that awareness in your stomach. And then ultimately something will pop up into your head. You'll think about what you want to eat for lunch. You'll think about whatever, your spouse, and you'll feel your awareness start to creep back up. And then all you do is recognize that and bring it back down into your gut, bring it back down into your stomach, and try to keep it there as long as you can. And when it tries to go back up, you just push it back down and keep your awareness there. That is literally all meditation has to be. I see people doing it and seeing smiles on faces. It's great. That's it. You do that for a few minutes here and there, and the health benefits, the benefits to your well-being, the benefits to your body, your physical body are massive, massively important. And I don't want to get too much into it because you guys can look up meditate. You can look up that stuff. But so many people talk about it and they make it sound like it's this crazy, hard to do thing and not, and this and that. That's it. And this is a practice that at this point, every successful person that I know meditates. You talk to every very successful CEO that I've worked with, business people, professional athletes, they all meditate because it's just so important. And that mindset, when you get into that, I mean, even think of an issue, think of a problem that you're having right now. Let's pretend we're concerned about what's going to happen as a buying agent, what's going to happen, this and that. And you take that awareness and you bring it down back into your stomach and notice how much less energy and less charge there is around whatever problem you have. And you can kind of look at the issue as more of something to solve in a level-headed, calm way. It'll do that with anything. If you can train yourself to do that, your life will change because you'll be able to, instead of coming at things with energy and anger and that there, if you can just take a breath, bring it down and come at it from that place, you'll be able to look at things a lot more rationally. If somebody cuts you off in traffic, before you get all pissed off and are yelling at them, if you can just take a second and bring it down there, it's like, it's not really that big of a deal. Maybe they're in a huge hurry to go somewhere. Let them go. I don't care.
Right.
Get you in a calm, peaceful place.
It's like, everybody worries, oh my God, if this gets stolen or that gets stolen, I'm kind of like, they need it more than I do. I'll be okay. If someone wants to steal my purse, all right, they needed it more than I did. Move on.
Yeah.
Eric, I never heard it explained like that, where from the head to the chest to the stomach. When I try to meditate, and I've been practicing just recently, I try to get blank up here, like just pure blackness, darkness, where you just be at peace. And it's hard to do, but I just did it along with Peggy and a few others here. And that was easier to do, much easier. I was trying to erase as opposed to bringing it down. I was just trying to erase and just think of nothing and relax. And I need that because we tend to be, and I'm guilty of this, of reacting quickly to things, problem solve and stuff like that. And sometimes we do it the wrong way instead of taking a step back. I just went through it yesterday, so I could have used that yesterday, this whole thing. So thank you. That was really well explained. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad that works for you. Yeah, well, and that's a lot of the part, that's a lot of it is that people try to do these things and they think of meditation as so complex. And yeah, I mean, if you're trying to clear your mind, you're literally trying to clear your mind using your mind. How is that going to work? How are you going to use, if you're trying to use your brain to do something and quiet your brain, it's not going to work too well, right? You gotta, I just was meditating and this kind of came to me one day and I was like, oh, this is so much easier. It's so much simpler than a lot of ways that people have tried to teach me with focusing only on your breath, because I can focus on my breath and think about other things at the same time is my problem, right? Like, it's like, that doesn't just turn it off. I can sit here and think about my breath. I'm breathing in right now and I'm breathing out and I'm still talking to you guys and I'm looking around and I see Peggy nodding her head and I see all these, like, wait a minute, this isn't working at all. So yeah, I'm glad that helped. I hope that helps people kind of get that. And if you can just get into that practice a little bit, you don't have to meditate 3 hours a day. You don't have to go and be a Buddhist monk sitting under a Bodhi tree, you know, giving away your entire life to do this practice or anything like that. Just literally a few minutes here and there. I'll sit there, and first thing when I wake up in the morning or right before I go to sleep, I'll do that. So yeah, that's great. I'm glad that helps. And if there's anything else if somebody has questions or something like that about it, you can reach out to me. I'll put my Instagram and my Facebook and whatever else in there. I'm always happy to help people in any way.
Or they can come to the retreat and have
Or even
free
better, come see it live.
come see
We're
it
gonna do
live.
we're gonna do some really cool stuff with awareness, and Steph has some good things. We had an amazing seminar out there last time. It was, I mean,
Life changing
everybody
for a lot
there.
of people.
It was.
There's somebody coming back, and I was in Cabo with them, and she said that in all of the events that she has gone to, this retreat has changed her life. It has been better than any other convention, mastermind, anything she's ever been to in her career. And I've wanted to tell you that. And I've seen Steph, but I haven't seen you. So I'm just putting it out. And she's coming back. So,
awesome.
And it's Michelle. I'll just come right out and say.
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why we do this. That's why we do these things, just to help people. It doesn't have to be that complicated. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these seminars, what I love about the seminar that we do is that it's more of a smaller, intimate group. I mean, I've taught at seminars with thousands of people, and I like being able to see faces. I like being able to see who's there and have conversations. When you're talking to a room of 2,000 people, you don't see faces. You just see, you know, little blurs and dots and things out there, and you can't really engage. Like, what was so cool about it is we're all basically staying at 2 lake houses on a beautiful lake, and we get to just eat together and have conversations together. And we did a lot of one-on-one things. You know, people would come to me with issues they're having with their kids or with their family or whatever, and it's like, well, let's talk. Let's figure this out. And we did. And that's what's so cool about this one, is that it's not your typical kind of Tony Robbins, nobody's dancing and jumping on the furniture and yelling, and it's
not
cheerleaders.
Wait a minute. You were in the
quiet house, do what you want to do. If it's gonna help you get the energy out, you know, do whatever you want to do. But it's more like, it's just more real. It's like, look, you got some top level coaches here. You can have a conversation with them. They can talk, you know, we have time to actually sit down with you for a half an hour and talk about like what's going on, and guide you through it and give you some insight and look at things a different way. And that's what I loved about it. So this one, we don't have a lot of spaces left, do we? I thought we're pretty full.
No, we are. I think I have 2 if you're a couple, and I might have 1 if you're private, if you're, you know, not with a couple.
Okay. So yeah, we're pretty full.
And the thing we did this year is, oh my
look who's
God,
awake.
look who's here, the baby.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, look at her.
Hi.
Okay.
She is so cute, Stephanie. Oh, what a baby, a doll. Hello, darling.
Forget about coming for the retreat for Stephanie and Eric. Yeah. You saw her belly last year at the retreat. You want to come and see this beautiful baby who I get to walk with on a regular basis and spend time with.
So beautiful. God bless. So beautiful. Oh, thank you.
So yeah, anyways.
That's the other reason I don't sleep. The baby and Peggy getting me up at 6 a.m.
Well, I have that effect on people.
And they're both worth it.
Thank you. But what I wanted to say about this year's retreat is that we actually made it smaller. Last year we had a ton of people, well, not a ton, we had about 30. And this year we've almost cut it in half, max it out around 18, if that, because everybody wanted the one-on-one time. And I'm just going to put a little plug in there. If you want to come and you're like, I don't know if I can afford this, I don't know, call me. call me, we'll work something out. Because it's not about the money, it's about getting you guys there. So anyways, Zoom user to everyone. I don't know who the Zoom user is. I just said to Ashley, let's find out who the Zoom user is. Yeah, you can message me or call me 860-638-7944. Okay, let's go to goals and SMART goals, because that's important. I'm going to bring you back to that.
Let's go to goals real quick, because I think especially I mean, any time of year, but it's important to have goals. You need something to kind of shoot for. You need, at the last retreat, we talked about the power of the unconscious mind and how things work like that, and how our mind works. You need to have something to shoot for. You need to have a goal that's put out there, because then your unconscious mind, when you're not doing things, I heard it explained a really good way. The difference between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind is basically when a plane is flying through the sky and the pilot is flying it, if the pilot is not flying, then autopilot is on, right? Somebody's controlling the plane either way, either the pilot who's steering it or autopilot. Autopilot is your unconscious mind. The pilot is your conscious mind. It's that simple. Your conscious mind takes care of things like regulating your heartbeat, like making your body work, all the things you don't have to think about. But also it can fall into when you're just not paying attention. You know, if you've ever driven somewhere and been thinking about something else, or a real estate deal or whatever, and then you show up there and it's like, wait a minute, how the hell did I get here? You just arrived, that your unconscious mind was taken over, which is good in a lot of ways. It's also not good in a lot of ways, because if you have a bunch of limiting beliefs, if you have things that aren't necessarily serving you in there, your money beliefs, like what we were talking about earlier, most those are pretty much unconscious at this point. You don't sit there and have a deal, you know, fall through and really think about it and go, wow, I'm never going to make money again. I'm never going to succeed. No, that's unconscious programming. That's things that are in there. That's limiting beliefs and things that'll jump out and start putting that in your head. So it's really important to have goals, because that's what your unconscious mind can shoot for. It can stay on target if you have a goal. And people talk about SMART goals. You might have heard this, but basically each letter in SMART, SMART, stands for something. And this is the best way to write goals. And it's very easy. I'm gonna go through them and give you some examples. But it's all of these are reasons to kind of, and a goal does not have to be long. A paragraph, a few sentences, and you can do one for your career, you can do one for health, you can do one for family. But let's start. So the S in SMART stands for specific and simple. It should be simple. It should be specific to the point where if I tell it to somebody, even if they don't know me or don't know the situation, they'll understand what I'm saying, right? If I said, I want to lose weight, that's not specific. If I said, hey, I want to lose 8 pounds of fat, that's specific. It's simple. It's not very complex. I'm not going, I want to lose exactly 0.3 cubic inches of belly fat around my torso and change my heart rate to 120, you know, like you're not getting super advanced in it, just simple things, but specific enough. The M stands for measurable and also meaningful to you. It needs to be meaningful to you, not that your husband wanted you to lose weight or that you want to make more money for your kids or whatever else. It has to be something that has meaning to you so that you really connect with it. What's important to you? And it has to be measurable so you know if you've actually reached your goal or not. That's another reason why it can't be so broad as like, I want to make more money. No. How are you going to measure that? Because if your goal is just to make more money and you're walking down the street and you see a quarter on the ground and you pick it up, okay, you hit your goal. That's probably not what you had in mind though, right? So it needs to be something that's measurable and that's meaningful to you. If making money isn't meaningful to you, don't do a goal on money. Do a goal on whatever else. If you want, if it's real estate and you want to do 20 deals this next year, that's different. You don't even have to have money involved in it. You can do whatever connects with you in a better way. The A stands for achievable. It also stands for as if now. And I'm going to talk about achievable first and then as if now. So achievable. Is it achievable? Is it actually achievable? If your goal is to sell 500 houses, is that achievable for you? It is. Do you believe it's achievable? Is that something that if you only sold 5 houses last year though, and your goal is to sell 500 this year, maybe it's not so achievable. Maybe you should try to go for 50 houses. If you have never gone to the gym before, maybe it's not achievable to say, I'm going to run a marathon by the end of the week. You want to write it as if now. And this is an important part that a lot of people miss when they're doing goals. You don't want to write, I will lose weight. That pushes it out into the future. How you want to write it is, I've lost weight. And I'll explain this more as we get to the other letters, but you want it to be as if now, because otherwise it just keeps pushing it forward, right? I will make money. Cool. And 6 months from now, I will make money. I will make money. It's pushing the ball down the hill farther and farther and farther. You want it, your unconscious mind to resonate with it and go, I've made money. I'm making money. I'm making $60,000 a month. Not, I will make 60,000. Like, oh, you will? When? What does that mean? I'm making $60,000 a month. And we'll get a little bit more into this when I get to the T. R, realistic. Is it realistic? And how I gauge that is, like I said before, is somebody else doing this? Has somebody else done it before? To me, that makes it realistic. If somebody else can go to the gym 5 days a week, it's very realistic that I can. Why not? If it's something that nobody has ever done before, maybe it's realistic, but you got to convince yourself. The other R is responsible. Is it a responsible goal? Because things have, everything has a sacrifice. Everything in life, there's sacrifice. If your goal is to sell 500 houses and you're going to have to work 20 hours a day or 18 hours a day, how's that going to affect your spouse? How's that going to affect your kids? How's that going to affect the other areas of your life? You want to make sure that that's a responsible goal for you, that it's something that's responsible. And the T is timed and toward what you want. So timed, how I write goals is so let's say that this is a goal that I want for 6 months from now. So that would be May, June, July, August, September, October, November, or October, whatever. And I write my goal and I say, it's October 2024. I am making $50,000 a month. That's timed. And that's also as if now. There's where those two come together. I'm putting it in the future, but I'm saying it in a way that it's as if now. Like today is December 1st, 2024. I weigh 165 pounds, whatever it is, in that way that it's more. You want to leave a little bit of room for the magic to happen though. And that's one thing that I've really learned in life. You don't want it to be too specific, right? I don't, so I'll stick with like a fitness one. If I say, it's December 1st, 2024. I weigh 165 pounds. I'm healthy. I can walk upstairs without breathing heavy, you know, etc. I'm not saying the exact way that I got there. I'm not saying I've lost this weight from going to the gym and working with Bob the trainer. Let that part kind of fill itself in. Let the universe kind of come in, because you might be working with Bob the trainer right now, but maybe in a month he pissed you off and he's not returning your calls, or he's not showing up, he's not reliable. And then somebody else comes in, or you find some infomercial at 2 a.m. Are there still infomercials? I don't even know. I don't watch TV. But at 2 a.m, you see something for some ab roller thing and you buy it and you lose a lot of weight and you get super healthy. Maybe that'll come in, or maybe, you know, Ozempic or some magic pill kind of diet thing will come. Who knows, right? Whatever it is, leave room for that. But how you want to do it is timed and toward what you want. Toward what you want means that it's a move toward goal, not a move away. Move toward is I want to feel healthy, or I feel healthy if we're following all the protocols. I feel healthy, as opposed to I don't feel crappy anymore, or I don't feel fat anymore, or I'm not poor anymore, whatever. You want it to be positive, because how our unconscious mind works is it doesn't hear negatives. If I tell you right now, don't think about a purple elephant, you think about a purple elephant, because your unconscious mind has to think about a purple elephant in order not to think about a purple elephant. But when you're thinking about that, now you're thinking about a purple elephant, even though I'm telling you not to, right? That's how it works. So you want it to be thinking about something that you actually want, not something you don't want. You need to make sure that it's toward what you want. So you put all of these together: specific, simple, measurable, meaningful to you, achievable, as if now, realistic, responsible, timed toward what you want. And you just write a simple goal out for the future. And you can do it in any area of your life. When I talk about the areas of life, there's 6 areas of life that we teach and that we talk about. One of them is career. One of them is your health and fitness. One of them is relationships. And I'm talking about relationship like the person that you have sexual relations with, not, you know, just overall relationships. Then you got family, you got spirituality, and you got personal growth and development. Your personal growth, your spirituality can be your religion, anything. So those are the areas, and you can have a goal for each one. I personally like to set a goal for each one. And I set long-term goals and I set more short-term goals. I think they talk about we highly overestimate what we can accomplish in like 6 months, but we highly underestimate what we can accomplish in 3 years. Our minds, we think that we can do so much in a short amount of time, and a lot of times we can't, but we undervalue what you can do. I mean, in 3 years, in 2 years, your life can look completely different than it does right now. I promise. I mean, look at how much has changed. In 2 years ago, we weren't even allowed to leave our house and we had to wear masks everywhere. And it was a total different world, right? Like, look how different things are now than they were a couple years ago. I mean, things can vastly change in your life. So it's good to have a different one for longer term and one for short term. And it's up to you how you want to do those. But don't get caught up into the whole, you know, so many people wait for occasions like I'm gonna start my diet on blank, or January 1st my life will change. Like, why? Why? Who cares about January 1st? It's not even real. Like, time's not even real. That's a whole nother webinar. But it's not even, we've come up with this though, right? So what's different? Pretend today's January 1st. Pretend tomorrow's January 1st. The best time what do they say? The best time to plant a tree was 5 years ago. The second best time is today. Do something you can do today. If you can start this now, great. So follow those things, do that, and that'll really help also with it. And this is also, again, if you're thinking about mindset, and growth and getting into that. This is a really good opportunity to look at that, because look at your goal and look at the mindset around it. Maybe you write a goal and you go, wow, where did that come from? Where are these beliefs coming from that I even need to do that? Where are these beliefs coming from? Examine that. And I know it's at 7, so we hit 7, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we hit, well, 7 your time, and some people,
7 my time.
Sarah's got her hand up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Eric.
Sarah, please.
I have my book from the retreat last year and I was going back through it because I wanted to fill in some gaps on the SMART goals
Sure.
and the areas of life. So when you were talking about moving toward your goal, I started to write, I don't feel whatever, but then I stopped and I misheard something. Can you go over that again and then
Yes.
repeat the areas?
The areas of life, sure. I can repeat the areas. And also when you see that, you just want to reframe it. So instead of it being a move away like it is, change it to a move toward. So if it's, I don't want to feel unhealthy, you would just change that to, I want to feel healthy, or I feel healthy. So whatever it is like that, you're just going to reword it. The areas of life, you got career. You got, actually, I think I have a visual to make it even easier. Then you guys could take a screenshot or whatever. In the meantime, while I'm finding that, anybody else have questions?
Eric,
Yeah.
how did you decide how did you morph into the person you are today? I see you've got a lot of books behind you. Do you read a lot?
I do read a lot. I like to buy books more than I like to read books. I'm a hoarder. But I try to read at least 10 pages a day, and I listen to audiobooks a lot. So yes, I do. I read a lot. I do a lot of, I've always said that the best growth, or the best money that you can spend is on your personal growth and development. Even at times in my life, even at times where I didn't have a lot of money, even at times where I was broke, if I wanted a book, I would always get it. I would never sell myself short and not let myself get a book. I can't find this page at all. Or a seminar or a class. If there was something, I mean, what better money can you spend in this entire world than on yourself? If you buy a book and it changes your life forever, if you learn some belief that you didn't have, or if you get some advice or something like that, that really shifts your perspective and everything. Oh, thank you, Dee Dee. That is absolutely, how much is that worth? If I told you right now that I can teach you something that will change your financial situation for the rest of your life, or I can give you a tip or trick that will make you healthy and you'll live another 10 years longer than you would have otherwise. How do you even quantify that? How do you even put a price tag on that?
You can't.
You can't, right? It's worth more than money. Even if that was $1 million or $10 million, that's not enough. So I always encourage people to, get information, get books, and honestly, make sure that it aligns with you. There's books that I've gotten that I've started to read because people have recommended them, and I'll start reading it and I'll go, this book is crap. Don't think that every book is good. Don't think that everybody's suggestion on a book, you don't have to finish a book. I've started books and been like, this is just junk, or skimmed some and things like that. And a lot of, also with personal growth and development books, a lot of it's filler. A lot of it is like one basic concept stretched over 300 pages so they can sell you an entire book. But I could summarize the entire book to you in 30 seconds. But they can't sell that, though. They can't sell a little pamphlet.
Speaking of book, Eric.
Yeah.
Are you writing a book?
I am writing a book. Yeah, which has been a whole nother challenge in itself. I was kind of talking about this in the, what's that?
How much of it is filler?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny you say that because that's what I'm focusing on. So it could be 100 books, but what I'm doing is instead of writing 100 different books with a bunch of stuff, I'm going into it and it's like, all right, here's one thing that I wanted to write about. It's going to
Good.
be
Mhm.
2 pages. I'm not going to sit there and go on stories and talk about the medical evidence and chapter 4, how I got to, it's going to be like, yo, what are we talking
Bam.
about? Goals. Here's goals. It's not going to be
Mhm.
the first time I heard about goals, I was 5 years old in kindergarten. And no, it's like, let's talk about these things. So it's funny you say that because I actually have that in there about how I really appreciate these books and things that I've read, but a lot of times it's filler and things that don't need to be there. But yeah, anything you can do. I've gone into countless seminars because I figure even if there's one little nugget that I can pull from it,
Mhm.
it's priceless. If I learn one little thing, even if it's a 4-day seminar and I only get one little takeaway from there, what better could I spend that money on? Shoes, clothes,
Eric,
yeah.
if you're a Prime member, a lot of people don't realize you get 12 audiobooks free every year.
Do you really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I pay
I
for mine.
definitely didn't know. See, there you
Yes.
go. That nugget is worth a lot to me.
That's chapter 42.
There you go. I love it. I'll put you in the book now.
There you
Okay,
have it.
guys, I don't want to overstep with Eric. If you want more, you can subscribe to our retreat. What Eric just said is you can put anything out there and you can make it happen. So if you're still sitting here and saying, I can't do it, I can't afford it, I can't this, I can't that, well, then you don't belong at the retreat because you didn't learn a damn thing on this call. But if you're sitting here saying, yeah, in 4 weeks, I'm going to be in Texas in front of Eric and Peggy and Sarah and Ashley and other people on this call, damn, let's make it happen. Because Sarah, what would you say about last year, real closing, real quick? Why are you coming back to the retreat? Besides the fact you get to eat Gene's ice cream sandwiches out of his freezer.
Very true, very true. So, one thing I'm super excited about is the fact that it's going to be a much more intimate group. I think that anytime you want to make change, you want to put yourself in the presence of people that can facilitate that and cut the learning curve substantially. And Annalise and Stephanie and Eric, my notes are just precious to me from this time, but also the relationships I made. And during a busy spring selling season, what a nice respite to come back and refill our cups so we can actually come back and serve our clients. It's definitely worth the investment for sure. And I'm so excited about coming.
Investment, it's the price of what a normal retreat is sometimes for a day. It's $888. It includes lodging, food. Eric and Stephanie that probably get about $5,000 a day other times. Thank God they're friends with me and they love you guys. But it's not about the money. It's about what you're going to walk away with and not coming from lack. It's coming from abundance. And I don't know. I can't say enough about this. And I'm so grateful that you and Steph are coming back. Annalise isn't going to be there this year, unfortunately. But yeah, it's
amazing. And it's also, there's something really big with just who you surround yourself with. They talk about the 5 people that you spend the most time with. That's who you're going to
Key
become.
to life.
It is. It really is.
Absolutely.
If you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th millionaire.
Correct.
If you surround yourself with 5 people that are unhappy, you're going to be the 6th person that's unhappy. You got to realize what's in your petri dish, what's in your environment. And
Correct.
going to things like this for a few days, being surrounded with like-minded people, being surrounded with people that are working on themselves, with people that are striving to improve things and that are just happy and like to be around each other and have different mindsets. That alone will change you. You know, no matter what, I promise you, you can't go to this retreat and not gain something massive from it just through absorption, if not even from
Right.
anything else. But the things that we're going to teach, the things we're going to talk about, I'm literally going to talk about how to get rid of depression quickly and easily. I'm going to talk about how to change your mindset in even more powerful ways. We're going to talk about so many things, and then on this one we're also going to have a lot more free time. Before we had 3 segments a day that we were teaching. This one I think we're going to have 2, so that you have more time to relax. So you have more time to talk to each other. We have more time to jump on jet skis and
That's what I was just gonna say. Jump on jet ski, go out in the boat,
jet
together.
ski and hang out in a beautiful lake house. And I mean, it is like the money, it's comical. $888. I mean, we'd spend more than that going out to dinner if everybody you know, sitting on this call right now went out to dinner. Like it's not that much money. And if you get something that, I mean, there's people that have probably doubled their income from the last time I've seen them. There's people that have sold numerous more deals and stuff like that. So yeah, Sarah, I'm so happy you're going to be there with us again. It was such a pleasure. And hopefully I get to see more of you in person. I put my cell phone number on, I put my email address on, I put all my stuff on there. I'm super easy to find on Facebook. I'm the only Eric with an A, Eric Mussman, in the entire world. So I'm super easy to find if you look for me, and feel free to reach out. You don't have to, I'm not even taking clients, so I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Literally. I'm giving you my information because I want to help. If you have a question, if there's something that you need, if you want to jump on a call or something, just with something quick going on in your life that you need some advice or guidance with, I'm booked up with clients up until the end of 2025. Yeah, I'm not taking any clients for a while. I'm on a waiting list, and working with me, I charge $10,000 a month for coaching. And I only do 6 months at a time. That I do a deal 50 grand for 6 months. So I'm very expensive. You have access to me. You have access to Stephanie. You can go spend a bunch of time with us in person in Texas, but also feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm happy to help out.
Eric,
Hey,
thank
Eric,
you so much.
Eric, I'm going to be in Tucson soon. I'll give you a call.
Yeah, I live in California now, but
Oh,
Yeah.
you
go
do?
to Tucson. Let me know. I'll buy you dinner at one of my restaurants because I still have all my restaurants out there.
Tucker,
Right.
they live like a mile from me. I get to walk with the baby 3 times a week.
Oh, that's
it's pretty
great.
cool. It's
I
pretty
heard
cool.
you
So
say that. I heard you say that. I was wondering how you were able to.
yeah,
You said
well, I'm
that
just
earlier when the
Connecticut
baby was there.
now, but yeah. So okay, Dee, we're gonna talk. You should be there. Let's figure this out. Tucker, you're already in Texas. Why aren't you going?
Who knows? I don't know.
Well, we're going to have a conversation because
right.
what you focus on expands. Ashley, thank you as always for getting up and helping me do this. Eric, I can't say enough. I don't want to hang up, but we have to. You guys, I want to just say I'm putting something out. I'm manifesting. I have an opportunity to refer a huge deal today in Connecticut. Focus on the fact I have a huge meeting at 12 o'clock local time, and just focus on the fact that I'm visualizing that there could be an $8 million deal coming together in about a couple of hours, putting a couple of realtors and developers together. So bye, guys.
Have an amazing day.
I can
You
help
too,
you,
Eric.
Peggy.
Thank you
Let me
so
know.
much.
Will.
Thank you. And
Thank
Sarah,
you,
I
guys.
hope Jean has full-size ice cream sandwiches for you. I remember you mentioned the little ones last.
Thank you.
Full-size ice cream sandwiches. Thank you, guys. Peggy, Eric,
Bye.
this was amazing.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.